Welcome back to another video. If you're new here, hello, my name is Dani. If you like handbag content, certainly do subscribe and turn on notifications so that you'll be informed every time I upload a video. I'm certainly trying to increase my subscriber count, and it would mean so much to me if you could hit that subscribe button. Today's video is going to be a review on this handbag over here. Ta-da! And this is the Celine Edge bag. This was a requested video from one of my viewers. Thank you so much for your request. In this review, I will give you a bag tour. I will give you the dimensions and the weight of the bag. I'll take you through some pros and cons and also give you some watch shots. And right at the end, I'll give you my recommendations. So this here is the Celine Edge bag. This bag came out in the early to mid 2000s. I believe it was around 2005 when it came out. And I also believe that this was from the Phoebe Philo era. I think this is such a cool bag. So firstly, a bag tour. So that's the front of the bag. That's one side of the bag. That's the back of the bag. And the other side of the bag. The bottom of the bag, it's got 4 feet. This is a full leather bag. So over here, right on the front, it is quite a smooth leather. The leather up here has a very fine grain. I'll bring it close so that hopefully you'll be able to appreciate that grain. And on the side, it's also a smooth leather. And on the back of the bag, it's also got a very, very fine grain. This bag is clearly in a tricolor, so it's got this sort of raspberry pink up the front, this sort of burgundy maroon on the top here, as well as the back. And then on the sides, it's like this sort of tamarine orange, and I absolutely love it. There is some black glazing along the edge of the bag. It comes with silver hardware, so the zip is silver, as well as this little portion of the zipper pull over here. And on the handles, these square rings are in silver as well. This snap button over here, there is a leather wrapping around it. On the front, it is hot stamped with Celine Paris. I'll show you the detail of this zip over here. So it starts in one corner over here. It runs straight along and then it curves around to this tongue over here. There is a snap button on the tongue over here and you can secure that just like so. The inside of the bag, this bag opens really, really wide. There is a gusset over here and a gusset over there as well. This bag, I believe, is actually the smallest size. On the inside is one big compartment. I'll just unsnap this. So the reason I have it unsnapped is because you can then open up the bag even wider. So that's how wide it opens, and that's the inside of the bag. There is a slip pocket on the front side of the bag. On the back side of the bag, there's 2 little slip pockets at the back. The inside looks to be fully leather lined as well. It looks like leather to me. The reason I say that is because sometimes when these materials get scraped, it turns out not to be leather on the inside. I should say there is a zipper pull on the pocket that's on the front side of the bag. Alright, let's talk about dimensions of the bag. Its maximum length is 38 centimeters. Its maximum height is 18 centimeters. Its maximal length at the bottom of the bag is 17 centimeters. The handle drop is 17 centimeters. And the bag clearly tapers from a big base to a narrow top. Okay, so let's talk about some pros and cons of this bag. Firstly, I do think the bag is very beautiful. I definitely like the look of it. So I did buy this secondhand from Vestia Collective, and I did get her for a really good price. I think partly because of its condition. There are some scratches on the leather, and I think you can appreciate that as I rotate it a little bit in the light. And that's the disadvantage of having a smooth leather. There's also some warping of the leather. So if I hold the bag like this, you can see the top of the bag is slightly warped. And this bag is well used, and I'm completely okay with that. There is also a smile, if you can see, left by the handle over there. And I think that can't really be avoided if you use the bag regularly. Potentially if you don't use the bag and you store the handle upright, sure, you might be able to avoid that. But I think if you use it, you can't really avoid that. In terms of the other issue with its condition, there is a dent or a curve over here, probably affected by how the bag was used and potentially how it was stored as well. I'll be honest, I'm not someone who is instantly drawn to Celine. I like the idea of Celine, but my budget doesn't stretch so far that I can like so many brands. I don't mind purchasing Celine secondhand because they tend not to hold value on the resale market. The primary reason I purchased this bag was because Hermes actually came out with a bag that looked very similar to this. So in order to scratch my itch for the Hermes bag, because Hermes is one of my favorite brands in terms of handbags, I went ahead and purchased this one, and no regrets in that regard, because I got this for a really good price, something like 300 Australian dollars. So yeah, a really good price. This was on the market for a very long time. I've seen other Celine Edge bags on Vestiaire Collective for much better condition, and those ones were definitely priced higher. The other factor that contributed to those higher prices, I think, was the fact that they were in more neutral colorways. I think this sort of colorway is not that popular, but for me, you know, this is completely up my alley. I love bright colors. I should also say that this colorway is actually very similar to one of the Hermes tricolor Kellys that I've seen. My friend here on YouTube, Loki, from Life with Loki, has that bag. And when I first saw that bag and that colorway, my jaw completely dropped. So of course you can imagine when I saw this bag in a very similar colorway and a very similar style to one of Hermes's own bags, I was like, oh, I couldn't resist. I acknowledge that Celine came out with the bag first. So potentially Hermes was inspired by Celine. Anyway, okay, so let's keep moving on with the pros and cons. There is this really generous zipper pull over here. It is quite dramatic. Some people don't like such big dangly things off their bags. I personally don't mind it. In fact, usually I hang a bag chump over here so that it's easier to grab and open up the bag. The zipper pull is relatively smooth. You do have to get a grip on the other edge of the bag before you can open it up, but once you've got that, that's pretty good. I already pointed out the huge opening before, and it makes it really easy to see your stuff when you open it up. I do also like that the bag tapers towards the top, because the bag being so structured can be very bulky, but because it tapers up towards the top, it means that it doesn't feel so bulky under your arm. I personally also really like that the top handle rests flat and is actually on the back of the bag, because it gives it so much more of a clean look from the front. The disadvantage of that is I think it's then very tempting to pick up the bag by holding on to the bag up here, and I think that's how this deformity occurred. If you're really using the bag, you're in a hurry, it's very easy to go ahead and pick it up here. Celine has also offered a very comfortable strap drop, which means that this strap can go over the shoulder very comfortably. So that's quite a good shoulder drop, I would say, over here. And in terms of carrying it, as I said before, because it's flat up the top, it actually stays on your body really nicely. Yeah, so that's how it looks on me. Now, the next thing about this bag may be a pro or con to you, depending on which shoulder you like to wear your bag on. I am usually a left shoulder bag person because I am right-handed. I do a lot of, dexterous things with my right hand, and the left side tends to be the stronger side that just carries things because it's like a very gross sort of motion or gross action. But this bag, I would say, is predominantly a right shoulder bag, and that's because of the zipper. So here the zipper is closed up, and I find it not too difficult to unzip the bag in this direction. And to zip up the bag, because I hold on to the tongue to try and zip it up, it's actually really tricky to have this bag on the other shoulder because the tongue would be behind me. Here, because the bag is on my right shoulder, the tongue is on this side and it's in front of me. So it makes it a whole lot easier for me to grab the tongue with my left hand, anchor it, and then zip the bag up this way. And to make it easier, I actually pull the bag upwards in order to zip it up, as opposed to having to reach behind me with my right arm, and that's a really awkward position to be in. So yeah, this is how I often would do it. So yeah, I would definitely say that is one of the cons of this bag. You do need to have somewhat flexible fingers, wrists and elbows and shoulders to operate it comfortably. I'm not going to do a what fits in this video for this bag because I've already got a dedicated video up on my channel for that. I'll link it in the description box below if you're curious. This bag does fit a lot because it is a good size. The other con is because of the shape of this bag, given that it's a triangle, you do have to put the bulky items down the bottom and then the smaller items up the top to be able to comfortably zip it. So it depends on whether you care about that. In terms of what I use this bag for, I'll be very honest, I don't use this bag that much. It's kind of an in-between bag for me. It looks like a really good work bag because of how structured and how serious it is. I never purchased it with the intention of using it for work. I purchased it because I fell in love with it. So it's not a practical reason, but you know, I'm okay spending money on love. Wow, I just realized how close that color is. How cool does that look? In any case, for work, it doesn't help me at all for work. It's too much of an in-between size. For work, I need a small bag and a very large bag. My very large bag carries my lunch and some A4 size documents, and my smaller bag carries my essentials. I don't carry an iPad or a laptop to work. When I get to work, I just drop off my really large bag and carry my smaller bag around, whereas this bag is just too much for me to lug around all day, every day. So I don't really use this bag. When I tried, I did use this bag as a dance bag. So although it doesn't really look like a gym bag, I kind of used it for that. It carried my dance shoes, it could carry my water bottle, my earbuds, and of course all my other essentials as well, because it is quite a large bag. Hey guys, just jumping in here because I forgot to mention another reason why I don't wear this bag. So I have a 6-year-old daughter, and in terms of how tall she is and in terms of where this bag sits on me when I carry it to my shoulder, my daughter's face and head lines up with approximately the bottom of the bag. And there was a time when we were out and about, one of the corners of this bag bumped her in the face, and obviously that was not a pleasant experience. So if you're a parent thinking of using this bag and you are approximately my height of 5 foot or 152 centimeters, perhaps this is not such a great bag to use with kids. Would I recommend this bag? Depends on what you want to use it for. If you have a small laptop or an iPad and that's what you have to carry for work, I think this would make a perfect work bag. But otherwise, because of its structure and its size, I do feel like it is too big and businesslike to carry to a casual event or a lunch with the ladies. I'd much rather carry a smaller bag, but at the same time, it is too small for me for work. So right now I'm going to overlay some mod shots. I am 5 feet in height or 152 centimeters. And I really only carry it one way on my shoulder, but you certainly can carry it on the crook of your arm or handheld as well. If you have any questions about this bag, leave them in the comment section below and I'll answer them as best as I can. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye! Over here is my 13-inch MacBook Pro, and let me just give you its measurements because not all 13-inch laptops are created the same.